Well, hello everyone. I'm going to be doing a weather briefing here. A lot of interesting stuff going on this today and this upcoming weekend, so this is a pretty good time to do it. Okay, so to start, just looking at a surface map here that was valid this morning. Um, what we can see here is notice the high pressure that was dominating the east here. The northeast coast brought really cold temperatures last night, but it's going out to sea now, so now we're going to have warm southerly flow coming in. The occluded front off the west coast here indicates that this low pressure is probably in its dying phase, but it is still bringing precipitation to the area, as we'll see. Southwesterly winds ahead of this cold front, so that'll set up maybe some severe weather out ahead of this cold front. And then look at the stationary front draped across Canada. That could be setting up the coastal storm that's going to occur later in this weekend. Because whenever a vorticity maximum or trough touches a cold stationary front, that's when cyclogenesis occurs. Okay, and then here's just a forecast map, valid tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. And what you see here is actually an area of heavy rain and flash flooding that is coming from Tropical Storm Priscilla. So we have all this tropical moisture that's flowing in to the desert southwest, the Four Corners, and the Great Basin because of Tropical Storm Priscilla. And I'm going to show a graphic in a minute that will kind of bring that home. And you see a couple other fronts. This front back in again towards the Four Corners, Colorado Plateau, may actually cause some severe weather in this region over here tomorrow, but it's a very isolated chance because the dynamics are not that good. More precipitation by the Great Lakes from this system, which will eventually coalesce with this system down by Florida to form the coastal storm. And then, of course, we have high pressure still over here that's going to go out to sea. All right, and then we have this map here that is showing the chance of flash flooding in the desert southwest due to Tropical Storm Priscilla. And so there's at least 15% chance, which is a slight risk in severe weather, a widespread chance of flash flooding. And we know that in the desert southwest, especially in the arroyos and canyons and the burn scars, that flash flooding is very dangerous. It can happen out of nowhere. So you really have to be careful. So this is really not a good thing that we have Tropical Storm Priscilla funneling in all this moisture into this area here. And this is just one of the forecast discussions from Grand Junction, Colorado. I'm not going to read it because I don't have the time, but if you want to read it, feel free. It goes into a little bit more detail about this situation here. Locally, higher amounts of up to 3 to 4 inches of rain are possible, so that can definitely cause flash flooding. Okay, temperatures. So again, we have, I believe, a cold front. Let me see. Yeah, we have a cold front across the Pacific Northwest, and it's going to be moving to the east. So you have colder temperatures tomorrow. And then in the Grand Junction over here by the Four Corners in the Colorado Plateau, you see this really steep temperature gradient, this is actually the cold front that's moving through. So, yeah, that's a steep temperature gradient, 71 to 65, going from 70s to 60s, 70s to 50s. So there's definitely a cold front in there. And then the warm front goes out to sea, so we warm up a little bit in the northeast. And did I miss anything? And then I also talk about how temperatures in the central United States and deep south don't change because there's no real fronts moving through or anything. Alright, and then here we had high pressure across the Great Lakes and the Dakotas on Friday, but that's gone. See, it moves to southern Canada by Sunday. See, this is from Friday to Sunday. And so now the difference is we have a storm in the area. We have this low pressure here that's now bringing rain to the Dakotas, and then snow for the mountains over here. And then we have the coastal storm that has started to form on Sunday morning. You see, it's got the warm front and the cold front, so it's still very early in its life cycle. It will eventually close off and die right off the mid-Atlantic coast, but we're not there yet on Sunday morning. Alright, and then for radar, again, let's look at all the tropical moisture coming in. That's from Tropical Storm Priscilla. We have that storm system in the Pacific Northwest that was off the coast with the occluded front that's pushing this moisture in. We had that system up by the Great Lakes that's pushing this moisture around. And then also the stationary front down in Florida, which is producing this moisture here. And then the central United States, the deep south, and parts of the southeast are completely dry. This whole area is completely dry, and some of these areas, especially areas like Texas, need rain. So that is not exactly a good thing that those areas are dry. Alright, so I think I covered that. Satellite. So this is an infrared satellite, and I kind of missed all the satellites that images that don't have the night taking over, so I had to pick this one to use. But basically the idea is that brighter colors, and then even as you go into this really dark gray, that is indicative of higher clouds and colder clouds, because colder colors mean clouds that are higher. Where is my mouse? I can't find my mouse. There it is. So you can see that we have convective clouds developing over Florida. You see the greens popping up and even reds over the tropics. And then even over towards the central Atlantic Ocean, we have even really much higher clouds developing. I think there are a couple of tropical systems out there right now, so that could be what that is. And then over here we have that tropical moisture being pumped in from Tropical Storm Priscilla, and you'll see the clouds are not actually that high. And then up by the Great Lakes we have these clouds here, which appear to be a little bit convective as well. This is an infrared satellite image, by the way. Um, so that does it for that. So that is the end of the briefing. I did want to do something else, but um, I don't want to go over the time limit. So what I will say is I'm going to be posting a supplemental video on the coastal storm for the Northeast Coast this weekend. So if you're interested in learning more about what's going to happen this weekend, I would check that out. I'm not going to be doing a PowerPoint. I'm just going to show the models. Um, and that video will be of pretty much equal length to this. So that is it for me for the briefing. Hope everyone enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.